Post some nipple clamps.
Wiki wiki wow! DJ Khaled!
We need an air horn.
Well,
No,
we
don't.
We got that. We got that.
You're listening.
Oh no, shit. No, fuck.
That's not an air
Somebody
horn.
take the soundboard away from Harry.
Jesus
I
Christ.
I don't know. I'm colorblind. It just,
Oh,
it's
that
just-
explains a lot,
Yeah,
actually.
that's
You just smash buttons randomly, hoping to
yeah,
get the
just
right
hit all
one.
the buttons.
This is the XYZ podcast. I'm here with my man Dinaira
Hi.
and Harry Fox.
Hello.
My name is Christian Breaker. G'day. This is a special episode today. We are not going through our usual program.
Is this an XYZ special?
This is an XYZ special.
It's a little short story. It's not about Harry's sex life either. Thank God.
Oh, yeah, that would be a very short story.
It'd probably
Got
be
him.
a children's book.
Oh,
And,
no. Okay.
Never bring
think it'd be a
children
weirder-
into the conversation. Harry.
okay.
So guys, because of recent events, I thought it would be cool to go through a little bit what is happening in the world.
What's happening, dude?
Are we stopping our game
We're stopping the game.
for this special episode?
I like that.
That was okay. That was
really
okay.
well.
That was-
That was a
That's
4
okay.
out of 10.
So I thought, coming from this industry of sorts, I thought it would be cool to maybe go through the history a little bit of what is actually happening in a larger scale
Yeah.
than just what happened in the news in the last 2 days. Because suddenly people start to use words that they've never used before, which I always find funny in
Hedge
news
fund
articles.
manager.
They shorted their stock, or they like
part of the
what
big
yeah. What the fuck does that mean?
That's really funny.
So I thought it would be cool to maybe go through this. Are you ready?
Do it.
Before we discuss next quota, let's just reduce the stocks by 22%. I don't know what I'm doing, dude.
Yeah,
I was trying my best.
You did really well. Like this is about as much as people know what they're doing that actually work in these institutions. But that's my personal opinion. I have to start with a disclaimer because this is finance.
You cannot give out financial advice.
For the next hour or so, I will be loosely discussing financial products, historic facts, and anecdotal information. The information provided is for informational purposes only. It does not constitute or a prospectus, a request, offer, nor a recommendation of any kind to buy, subscribe, or sell or redeem an investment instrument or to perform other transactions, including the provision of any advisory or management services in any jurisdiction. Also, I might get stuff wrong, so don't be a fuckhead and take it for entertainment purposes only.
Batteries not included.
this felt like reading the Apple terms and conditions when they update. I just wanted to hit okay already.
Yeah,
I don't-
shut up.
Fuck
Okay.
my privacy.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Like, of all the shit we talked about, we can talk about rape and fucking sexual harassment, and we can talk, be discriminatory and hate speech. The second we fuck up with financial advice, that's when we get fucking canceled.
This
That's
is
when we get
Switzerland after
arrested.
all.
Is that
The
is that-
irony of it.
is that real? If we gave financial advice and didn't disclaim that we're not,
So there is always this fear if you work in the financial industry, you should never give advice. This is why all emails have like a fuck ton of disclaimers that are sent out coming from any financial institution. Even if you're not even close to giving advice, even if you're a fucking accountant at Credit Suisse, it would always tell like, I'm not supposed to give advice. Do not construe this as advice, blah, 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 blah. Because then you can be somehow perceived as liable.
but would we be liable on a comedy podcast?
I wonder.
Okay, let's not test it. Then we'll go with your disclaimer.
Yeah, it depends on the lawyer, man. Depends on the lawyer.
So I want to start real early. I'm going to throw this back a couple of 100 years.
Here we go.
In 1602, the very first mega corporation, as we understand it today, was founded in the Netherlands,
Okay. What was that?
the Dutch East India Company.
Oh, yeah. Familiar.
I'm gonna call it VOC from now on because it's like a long name. And
What? Why VOC?
VOC. It's basically the acronym that the Dutch used.
Okay.
It was something Verenigde Oostindische blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna spell it wrong, and fucking Dutch is horrible to anyone's ears.
The old colonizers of South Africa.
Them
DIC.
and the East India Company of the UK actually as well at the same time, right?
Yeah.
The history of this horrifying monster of capitalism is quite appalling in itself, but it created something on which modern day capitalist society in the West is built on: the concept of shareholder value.
Okay.
So this is where it all started. In 1602, the very first stock exchange, the Amsterdam Stock Exchange, was established on the back of that particular company, of the VOC.
I would have bought Coca-Cola shares right then and there.
I'm just wondering who our shareholders are in the XYZ podcast and whether we are delivering shareholder value. I don't know.
I think if anything, our stocks are dropping as fast as fucking Pfizer. At the moment.
As my underpants.
There's not that many minuses that we can put. Actually, the thing is, prior to 1602, the concept of owning a company via stock was not a thing. So on markets, what was traded up until then was actually proper goods. So I don't know, vegetables and fucking salt and pepper.
Like inventory.
Yeah. So the concept of a company existed, but not anonymous shareholder.
Cool.
That thing didn't exist. But because the Dutch East India Company needed so much money to do the horrendous shit in India that they wanted to do, they needed a fuck ton of cash. Basically a bunch of rich guys got together and said like, okay, let's do this company thing. So this, let me explain to you how that works, what shareholder value is. I have a little bit of an example here. Let's assume Harry and I want to engage in a business that sells dildos.
A worthy cause.
Harry's interested.
Because Harry and I think dildos are going to be of great demand, especially during COVID. In order to produce them, we need machines, a distribution network, and raw materials. So that costs money. We also want to make sure that our own private lives remain untouched should we eventually get sued for crooked dildos. So we create a stock company.
Okay.
Did you mold the dildo off of me so it's crooked?
Yeah, Dean is our primary dildo model.
It leans to the left. Banana shape.
Doesn't stay as hard as we want.
Very popular is the double-ended Dean. That's
it's a bestseller. These things are flying off the shelves.
Penetrative performance and
double-ended Dean. My mind is going very, very different places.
Yeah.
Harry and I own 50% each of this company, and we pay each 10K.
I get royalties, right?
You will get into the game eventually. We start doing business, and it's immensely successful, even though the dildo that we are using. In the first year, we make 30K. This means our capital has now increased to 50K. Mm-hmm. Harry and I own 25K each of the capital. Our shareholder value has increased.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we all good on this example so far?
Yep.
Nice.
So we've stretched our capacity. Okay.
That's my job.
Okay.
So let's go back to the 1600s. The stock of VOC was traded nicely in Amsterdam. Everyone involved made money until 1609, when a guy, Isaac Lemaire, an investor in the company, started to think that shit could get wrong. So he wanted to short the company. And this is where this whole shorting thing comes into play. He was the first guy to ever short a company stock. And this is how that works. And Dean, this is where you come into play.
Don't mention me in short in the same sentence, please.
So Harry and I create this company. We now call it Breaker Fox Pleasure Center Incorporated.
Pleasure Center.
Fuck it till it's Breaker.
Yeah.
Selling dildos has proven to be insanely lucrative, and we bring the company to the stock market. The ticker code is FUCK. And we also sell it on NASDAQ because we see ourselves mostly as a tech company. Harry and I still own 50% of the company, each 25%. The rest is out there on the market, right? It's floating. Dean sees that the dildos are going out of fashion in favor of the womanizer.
Obviously, it's inevitable. I'm gonna short you guys.
Plus, at some point, you're going to reach peak orifices. So there's not enough orifices left for putting dildos in.
There's always another orifice, Harry. Always.
So
Dean invented the nasal dildo.
Oh damn! How does an
nipple hole dildo?
ear dildo? I don't want to.
Okay.
So Dean thinks fuck is going down in share price very soon. So he starts shorting the stock. He borrows stock from Harry, basically agreeing with him to return them at a later stage, and immediately sells them on the market. This means Dean now has to find stock of fuck at a lower price than when he purchased it from Harry. The lower the price he gets, the bigger his gain. You see what's happening?
Yeah, I understand shorting.
So Dean's predicting the price is going to fall.
Yes.
I'm putting it out there. I'm going to sell it when the stock price drops.
You sell it immediately.
Yeah.
And you get a heap of money.
Yeah.
And now you have to find the same stock for a lower price.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I just got one question on the terminology. So short is basically what is this scenario where it's going down, and long is when it's going up, basically.
Long is when you own it. So if you go long on something, you actually own it. If you go short, you are short of something.
Okay.
Right? So
it's interesting because like from my experience with trading stocks and stuff, like the only thing I thought it was is, okay, I've got the stocks. It's not even owning or sharing stocks because it's like, what do you call it? Futures?
Oh, the derivatives.
So it's just selling it at that price and hoping that it goes lower and then buying it again, technically.
Yeah.
That's how
we will get into that a little bit, but the derivatives are kind of like one removed of this.
Okay.
So you bet on the option of
it's
all
just
that.
like bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's just stick with the basic short because that is very much what goes into
all
play
fantasy
here.
football stuff.
Yeah. So this dude, Lemaire, he did exactly that. He went short on the company and actually made money of it. Interestingly, the company itself, there's a lot of firsts that happened. They were the first corporation that was bailed out. They were the first corporation that fought government regulation, and also the third corporation that was probably had the biggest grasp of trade in Europe. So they were probably bigger than Amazon is today.
The Rothschild vibe.
Totally. I think they had like 50% of all trade in Europe at one point.
Wow. That's huge.
They were fucking insane. So let's fast forward to 1900. In 1920, a guy called Benjamin Graham and his mate Cherry Newman founded what is today considered the very first hedge fund.
Did he introduce the idea of grams to hedge fund managers? This is where it comes from.
Well, it is 1920, so cocaine was definitely a thing.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't? No, you weren't around in 1920, so.
Yeah.
But
Harry,
cocaine fuckheadery was definitely a thing in the 1920s.
You were there to tell us what it was like.
Was it a great time? Yeah,
you weren't there, man. You weren't there.
It's a time when men were men.
Oh, God.
Oh, damn.
And women, shut the fuck up.
Martini lunches and then fuck abroad.
I'm glad things have changed.
We just gave women Valium and they were happy.
Oh, fuck.
I wouldn't mind some value.
Okay, so let's quickly discuss what a hedge fund is because there are some misconceptions there. The term hedge fund was actually coined in 1946. It describes a company that aims to protect their assets at all costs, basically building a virtual hedge around their virtual garden. You know what I mean?
I thought it was just the Queen's budget for the garden.
So the basic idea is the fund makes money regardless of the market going up or down. So it doesn't matter what happens out there. The fund always makes money. And as we've just discussed, you can make money on a share that goes down. So if you go short on a stock and the stock goes down, you can actually make money on it. The guy who invented this concept, Benjamin, he made something like 20% every year between 1936 and 1956, which had some of the worst turmoil in the markets out there. So the market at the same time made something like 12%. So he beat the market by 8 percentage points every year.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Nice.
So
How do you do it?
he was okay. So he basically looked at corporations that looked really well.
He was spreading rumors and lies.
Pretty much, actually.
Fund management. Insider trading.
101.
These are my keywords I've learned today.
So
I understand all of this. Insider trading.
Yeah, just throw that in from time to time.
Yeah. Oh, it must be.
We get-
Short the insider trading. Yeah.
it's interesting you mentioned insider trading, because the next guy that enters the stage basically made sure that that was a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, smart motherfucker.
Bill Clinton, ladies and gentlemen.
Billy boy.
He deregulated the American stock market so badly that the hedge fund boys in the 1990s could really go to town.
His friends at the poker club on Friday must have been pretty happy.
Absolutely. You can pretty much create a direct link from his deregulation efforts to the global financial crisis in 2008.
Nice. Oh, Bill.
So during the financial crisis in 2008, which was largely caused by greedy investment banks, hedge funds, and the like, they took a hit for about 2 years, only to come back bigger and stronger than ever. You could say that a lot of the money that was printed by the US government to bail out the banks actually ended up in the pockets of hedge funds. You could say that because in 2007, the official Census Bureau in the United States reported 12.5% of the entire population to live below the poverty line. That's roughly 37 million people. This number increased to 48 million in just 4 years. That's 15.9%. Now, okay, the poverty line is a bit of fuckheadery and douchebaggery, but the numbers are a pretty good approximation of what actually happened. So people got fucked out of money during the financial crisis. Heaps so.
It's always the lower people in the chain that suffer the most, right?
Now, in the same period, in the same period, around 2000, hedge funds controlled about $500 billion US. In 2012, they controlled 2.1 trillion.
Yeah, I was going to
So
say
more than
500
double.
billion
Wow.
sounds like nothing. 2.1 trillion sounds more. Way closer. Yeah.
And that was within the period of the financial crisis. Within 12 years,
yeah.
they went from 500 billion to
Profiting off of,
2,100 billion.
yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Not surprised.
So, okay, this did cause some social disruption. Do you guys remember Occupy Wall Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That was great. No one showered for weeks. There was also a bit of an outcry when the Irish people suddenly had to pay for the banks in Germany. Do you remember that part, Harry?
Oh, vaguely.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Vaguely, because Ireland got fucked, like royally fucked by the German banks.
Wow, I didn't. I have vague recollection, and it was one of those things that now in retrospect, it's like the whole Occupy Wall Street, and which turned into an identity politics, and that was the end of it. But it was almost like a distraction for like real shit going down. Mm-hmm. So Ireland, the Irish they're used to getting fucked. So
yeah. And Ireland and Greece basically got robbed. It was pure daylight robbery what happened at the time. And also Switzerland, actually. We bailed out UBS.
Oh, yeah.
Right
You
in
bailed out the UBS?
We bailed out UBS.
Nice. Good old UBS.
Yeah, because apparently you cannot trust the banker making the decision, so you have to pay for his bad ones.
And now every time you open a bank account now in Switzerland, you have to declare you're not a US citizen. That was another...
Wasn't that the secrecy?
That was mostly about tax evasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, guys, my shoebox under my bed has never failed me.
Not even the rats that were...
Quick tangent. Pablo Escobar used to spend $2 million a month on elastic bands.
Yes, I read that.
Yeah, just to wrap his money. something crazy like that, just to buy the elastic bands to wrap all the money.
2 million
2
on
million
an
or
elastic
Yeah,
band.
because
200,000.
he made about $1 billion a month.
Something mad. And then apparently rats ate so much money. Like he lost like millions and millions and millions of dollars based on rat food.
I've heard a rumor that still today, or maybe I say rumor, but it's actually I was just watching Narcos, that farmers in Colombia to this day in some fields still find money.
Yeah, buried in the fields. Yeah, I heard that.
Or
Crazy.
it just appears in rivers and stuff.
Yeah.
And because the US dollar is printed on canvas and not on paper,
Starts rotting.
it stays. Even in water, it actually doesn't really dissipate.
Oh, it doesn't actually.
It rots. It can rot.
It can rot, but not.
But
fall apart.
it doesn't fall apart like paper.
Nice.
Wow. Crazy.
Like the British pound these days made out of plastic. The
Oh,
alien
yeah,
archivists in the future are going to come back and
because
find it lodged in a dolphin's neck.
Every Brit now considers themselves a surfer. So have you seen Australian dollars were printed for years in plastic, so you can put them in board shorts?
Well, Australians got something right. We should try it too. They just wash their money constantly.
That and those little plastic bags they put dog shit in. That's basically what's going to be left of us.
Yeah, and one cockroach in Harry's dildo collection.
I think that's the way to be remembered, is just do some plastic casts of your dick. And of some material that will never degrade.
I have a friend who did that, and he said it was really difficult because you have to stay hard for quite a long time without
being able to touch.
Fuck.
How did he stay hard? Like, what was his?
It's a mental game, Harry. It's a mental game.
I literally don't know how he did it. I hoped he popped some pills.
Wow.
But he literally made a cast of his own.
Anyway, back to the financial markets.
Yeah.
And not today's
back to getting fucked. So, during this time, from 2000 to now, pretty much, Wall Street gods emerged in this fucking frenzy. People like Ray Dalio, you might have heard of him, the founder of Bridgewater Associates, or the capitalist nightmare called Ken Griffin, founder of a company called Citadel LLC. Now, this is a name that you want to remember for the rest of the story, because this is going to be quite important. Many of the hedge fund boys were also Goldman Sachs alumni. There is no other bank that produced as many hedge fund guys like Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
So a guy named Gabriel Plotkin, an alumni of Citadel LLC, founded a company called Melvin Capital Management in New York in 2014. The company did really well. They started with like 1 billion, and in their first year, they made 47%. So immediately propelled them into the stratosphere of asset managers.
It's great to hear a rags to riches story like that.
I borrowed $1 billion and made 47% in 1 year.
I worked up from my first billion. It was a struggle.
Dad, can I have some money? Fuck off. I'm trying to get rich, Dad. You don't understand me.
It's really great when you see all these guys that claim to be self-made billionaires. They always had like someone that gave them like a couple of million to start with, you know? Like,
always found some investor, some lucky connection to some dude.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that was reading something. It's like the number one factor in determining entrepreneurial success is the income, is the wealth of your parents.
Eat the rich.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
I was listening to a podcast about Eric Prince today.
The Blackwater
dude.
Jesus Christ.
It's fucking loaded before he started. So, Harry, you might remember this quite.
Hold on, dude. I borrowed a measly $1 million from my father.
Yeah, that guy. But all of them, Bill Gates was the same. Like,
he had a couple of 100,000. Actually, the guy who founded Citadel, he got $100,000 from his dentist to start his first investment fund.
He's fucking dentist?
19 years old.
fuck.
Dentist gave him $100,000.
Did he lose all his teeth and give the dentist the best fucking blowjob of his life? What the hell?
Ken Griffin, fucking horror show of a human being. So, around 2000, we had the .com bubble, but something else happened. Suddenly, all these stock trading platforms started to appear.
Oh yeah.
Are you familiar with Swiss Quote?
Schwab and
Yeah, or
Fuck Swiss Quote, man.
or eToro.
I'm so mad at Swiss Quote.
Why?
they keep stealing all Dean's money.
No, look, yeah, true story. Actually, I invested in Duffery stocks.
Ooh, well,
During the lockdown, because the stock price fucking dropped pathetically. They were an airport transport company or something.
Yes.
They did the whatever for the airports, transporting food and whatever.
they started as a duty-free firm.
Yeah,
This is where the name
duty-free.
comes from.
Their stock price drops from like, I can't remember, something crazy, 100 whatever, I can't remember, to like down to like 20 something.
So you had a sure thing.
So I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna buy it in. And after pandemic, when everything goes up, it's gonna go way back up. I'm gonna be rich, right? But obviously at the time I had zero money to do it. So I was like, I'll just put $100 in. Also, I can afford whatever. So I get an account at Swiss Quote. I put it in, right? Stock price starts going up again. I buy in at a good time. So my 100 francs goes like starting to go way up because I'm checking the price of Duffery every day. I log back into my account a couple months later. Fucking Swiss Quote decides they can take 16 francs a month from my capital investments. So all the money I'm making is just getting less and less and less, despite the fact the stocks are skyrocketing after a while. I was like, it's fucking bullshit. I think I owe them money at this point.
I mean, basically, like, yeah, for any. This is the thing I've always thought is like if you're not selling at I don't know like 100K plus, you're just gonna get stung big time on
Yeah, there's no point.
all the commissions, and even then you will at that point as well. It's just like it's like a mug's game for retail investors.
Yeah,
Basically.
I got to tell you. Okay, quick story, real quick. It happened recently. Have you guys heard of the MTI scheme? No. So okay, there was I believe there was a South African company, international. They had developed an algorithm. I'm pretty sure it's a fucking Ponzi scheme. They developed an algorithm with Bitcoin so that you could invest with Bitcoin, give them the Bitcoin wallet, they would trade, and you would make like a monthly income of 1%. It was huge gains actually compared to normal trading, right? And then the more people you invited, the more you would get a share of their
Yeah,
profit.
that's definitely a
That's
Ponzi
so-
scheme.
Definitely a fucking Ponzi scheme. But they've been going for 6 years. Recently, unfortunately, like my mother had put some cash in because it was working for her and her friends and stuff. And I was like, yeah, here's some money as well, Mom. One of the guys who earned it went to Brazil, switched off the servers, transferred all the Bitcoin right at the top of the 30,000 franc price that it was at recently. Transferred all of it, disappeared. Everyone in the world has lost their money. FBI are like investigating. People have gone to their house and raided their house, but he's not there. He's living on a fucking yacht somewhere.
That's amazing.
So he's sitting around with like a couple $1 billion in Bitcoin.
But is he happy because he knows he's got Dean's mum?
That's what I'm saying. He's got to look over his shoulder for the rest of his fucking life.
Yeah, exactly.
I would never cross a South African woman.
Exactly, especially not Dean's mum.
You love saying Dean's mum.
I know, it's just like, yeah.
No, just don't. It's sudden
It's not
death.
derail.
But so these companies, they actually did, except for your case, Dean, but in most cases, they actually reduced the cost of trading. Which was funny because up until now, trading was only possible through banks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, or up until then rather, the banks basically controlled access to the markets.
Yeah.
And they charged fuck tons.
Have you heard of Robinhood?
Well, we get to Robinhood.
Okay.
We get to Robinhood. So there was companies like Swissquote or eToro and all these things. And they made it possible for like everyday Joes to suddenly have real life access to markets. And actually also real-time trading tickers. This was something that used to cost you 25 grand a year to get a Bloomberg terminal. If you might have heard of this. It's like what every trader's pride is that fucking Bloomberg terminal. It costs a fuck ton just to give you real-time prices. Whereas if you had a Swissquote account in the early 2000s, I had one, you have real-time prices on your options or whatever.
Nice.
I traded Logitech like a motherfucker at that time, and yeah, it was.
And now you're sitting here with us like a.
I was great for a moment.
But I mean, honestly, the real-time ticker is probably the worst thing in finance because it just makes you like an idiot. because you go, look, oh, it's gone up. Oh, let me now do some more stupid, irresponsible things, like, and then blow all my money, basically. But anyway, okay, carry on.
Okay, so let's quickly set the scene because I think we are now very close to where shit gets weird. We have a disgruntled society in the United States that got fucked by the global financial crisis, and we kind of forget that. We have these hedge fund douchebags that think they control the world. They're basically your schoolyard bullies that suddenly get money, and they think they control everything.
Quick tangent. The global crisis in the US, that was part of the whole Big Short, the movie where they shorted the housing market, right?
That's exactly
that
right.
was part of that. Okay.
That's exactly
the movie with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Making financial problems.
The global
sexy.
financial crisis is the movie with Ryan Gosling, as it's known as.
That's all I give a fuck about.
But you're quite right. That's exactly what it was. So there was this kind of like move that like retail, that's what it's called, retail stock traders would get into the game. And also stocks were kind of starting to flood everyone's pension schemes as well. Like there was never so much exposure to stock markets than today because all your pension portfolios are basically exposed to it. So
joke's on you. I don't even have a pension.
So, where was I? I fucked it. We basically are in this situation where everyone starts trading, everyone starts getting lucky. In comes a company called GameStop. Now, I want to quickly talk about GameStop because they have quite an interesting history.
Hashtag GameStop.
So GameStop was called Babbage's in 1984. They were founded in Dallas, Texas. They started as a software company, software retailer, but moved into video games really quickly. They first started with Atari and then moved into Nintendo in 1987.
Okay.
1991, they went public for the first time.
Shout out to 1991.
It was a good year, actually.
I'm straight.
Were you born then?
Yes.
Yeah, ask Dean's story. The story of Babbage's was a bit murky after 1991. And a couple of bankruptcies happened during the time, but basically the remaining pieces of that company were bought by Barnes & Noble in 1999.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
for $215 million. The company was delisted, but Barnes & Noble rebranded the entity and it was now called GameStop. They went public again in 2002. And from 2004 until 2016, they made a fucking killing. So this was basically when people actually went to stores to buy video games. So revenue grew from $190 million in 2011 to $600 million in 2012. It's just fucking insane. It went through the roof.
I did contribute at least a lot of that.
Do you remember any GameStop purchases?
Hold on. I don't think we even have GameStop in South Africa. We never had GameStop.
There's one. You have it here, don't you?
What was yours called? GameStork, and it was just kind of like
yeah. Honestly, it was something like that. It was called Blockbuster Video Games.
Blockbuster Video.
I used to rent video games from
You have
Blockbuster.
GameStop. Is it GameStop in Switzerland?
We never had it. We have something that's incredibly racist called Walk.
Wow. Oh yeah. Walk.
No, but what's that one in? There's one in the hub. It's game. It may not be. I think it's GameStop or Game Zone or
something like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
It looks very similar.
I go in there sometimes for around Christmas time, and it's just every year there's more like little anime figures on sale.
It's really weird. They started selling Bubblehead figures.
Yeah,
they have to, guys, because who's buying actual physical DVDs anymore?
Well,
they're pretty much transforming into a merchandise company.
It's literally what happened to GameStop because after 2016, everything went weird for them. So they started losing money like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But they had to start closing offices and businesses. they announced last year that they are doing a deal with Microsoft Azure. And I was just like, who fucking cares, man? Like,
but you know, this is if they're getting into merch and this kind of stuff. This is where Breaker and Fuck in Pleasure Zone Industries show up and say, hey, you know what? Teenagers need a range
need a video game first.
Wait, you have to say the name right. Breaker, Fuck, Pleasure Center Incorporated.
Yeah, I fucked it up. And we have a range of dildos for young teens.
Everyday needs.
God.
A teenage
Everyday
dildo
dildos.
selection.
All right, let's go.
I will not be buying your stocks.
Let's go into the zone where we do a little play-by-play. And this is going to be largely based on a report from Watson.ch. Watson, we love you.
Shout out to Watson. We know you're listening.
They actually did a really decent job on reporting what happened here. So April 2020, a little less than a year ago, young Gabriel from Melvin Capital took a massive short position on GameStop as he saw the company crumble.
Smart kid,
right?
They're selling merchandise for no reason. They're going to start suffering.
It wasn't a difficult bet, I might say. We all kind of knew that they were kind of tanking, but
just not smart enough to put it
exactly.
Short on it, yeah.
So the company was basically losing money since 2016. There was no outlook for any change of direction as well, which was interesting. So they brought in a couple of CEOs, but no one had a vision.
They had some boomers on the board who didn't know what the fuck was going on. We should buy these anime figures. They're flying off the shelves.
You need a waifu subscription service. That's how
my son told me we should do this.
No, but waifu subscription, that's how you get recurring revenue going. That if I was CEO at GameStop.
What is a waifu?
Waifu is like it's basically a Japanese term for like a kind of a fantasy wife. So if you look on Instagram.
How does Harry do this?
Waifu.
I don't know.
Because I work.
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to.
Somebody told me one day that
I spent
I
spend a lot of time on old Reddit.
No, real shit is I worked at a company where we streamed anime for a while, and I actually went to Comic-Con and a bunch of other things. And we had this team in Los Angeles. This team in Los Angeles who are experts on this stuff. And a waifu is basically like, if you look on Instagram for waifu, it's spelled WAIFU, and you'll see teenage boys with little stuffed toys of Korean girls.
Ooh,
and it's weird as fuck. And they basically, but they project all.
Never judge a kink.
They project all their romantic. It's not so sexual. It's more like about being romantic and sensitive.
They're lonely
because women actually don't want that shit from men. So you have to project it onto a stuffed toy.
We're sorry, Harry. I'm sorry.
That was good.
It'll be okay.
No, I think this is quite representative of how a hedge fund manager's brain works. So, they outsource
only real
love.
Money.
Yeah, exactly. To fucking.
You've had a
stock
blowjob,
market.
but have you had $1 billion?
I can buy $1 billion blow. No, that's not how that works.
That's not true.
All right, so GameStop.
So
GameStop's looking fucked.
It's April 2020. The stock price of GameStop is at $3. It's important to note, $3. He goes short on the motherfucker.
How do you short $3? Okay, wait, never mind.
Well,
I don't know what I'm talking about.
You just go short. Like it can only go to zero. So it's a race to zero.
Yeah. So basically, he borrows a bunch of those shares.
He sells at $3.
What does it drop to?
He sells at $3. Well, it doesn't drop anymore because here's what happens. When you go short, if you are trained in the magical art or in the dark arts of global finance, this becomes visible. You can see
somebody
this.
Sees it.
You can see this, but you don't know who it is, but you just see suddenly there's a fuck ton of shorts out there. Because someone has to write the shorts. Yeah. So you see this, and a bunch of guys on Reddit, and this is where we introduce the Wall Street Bets forum, they see this and go like, fuck those cunts. Two reasons. The Wall Street Bets guys, they have massive behavioral issues, but also they hate short traders with a passion because they think short traders
overcompensating. They're like, you calling me short?
Yeah, they celebrate companies failing, basically.
They celebrate companies failing,
Yeah.
but also they are always holding the company. So their motto, which is very lovely, they say, "We love this stock." So they hold it. They hold on to it. And sometimes in the case of GameStop, it was mostly for reasons that they were young ones and bought a game there. So it had this kind of like
a nostalgic,
nostalgia value. And
Yeah,
it's like, oh, this fucking hedge fund crap, they are fucking over our beloved GameStop.
Yeah.
Let's pay them back. And so they started buying, basically pushing the price
Way
up and up.
Yeah.
Which is fucking awesome because now it's July 2020 and a second hedge fund called Citron Research, they go like, this GameStop thing, maybe let's do that as well. Now
Everyone's jumping on board.
everyone's jumping on board, but the guys from Reddit, they go bananas, basically push the price up to $20 by year end.
Fuck.
So this is performance of 666%.
Oh, that's ironic.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
I love that.
The devil.
The thing is, like, here's non-advice because we're not advising anyone, but like, usually it's before, like, we only hear about these things now. Before it's already too late to start
way too
buying.
late.
It's way too late. People hear about this way before us and insider information and all that.
Well,
shit.
it's not actually insider
I
information.
know,
it
but
was
before
just
we learn about
yeah.
it, these
I mean,
hedge fund managers already have sold and bought and done everything they
Well,
need
no,
to.
but this is the great thing. The hedgies didn't.
They didn't.
They didn't clock it. So they just looked
They
at the
missed
price
out.
and went like, what the fuck is happening?
Just
So
like us.
for like more than a year, no, not more than a year, but more than half a year, they were just staring at their fucking Bloomberg terminals and was like, why is this thing going up? So they are now in fear. And now it's January and things go absolutely fucking bananas because this is what happens.
Can I just say,
Go.
So I saw this happening last summer because I read Reddit fairly often, but that whole Wall Street Bets is to me like, I check in there occasionally. I would never fucking buy anything based on what I see there because it's just like this. It's such a Reddit is so manipulated and like the amount of bullshit happening on there. So there could easily be a trader exploiting people.
For sure, yeah. I think now it's time to probably short GameStop again.
Well, we'll see.
That is not my professional advice. I'm not.
All right. Okay, so hold on to your assholes because now it gets fucking crazy. So January 2021, shit goes weird. Citron Research is starting to lose money like a motherfucker. The share price of GameStop now hits $90. So that's $87 more than what they anticipated back in summer
Bitcoin
last year. Melvin got hit really hard as well. They are now out of pocket $2.75 billion.
Whoopsie.
But one thing, has anything actually happened yet, or it's just they are potentially out when they have to?
Okay, let's go into this quickly.
GameStop's like, we should buy more of those anime dolls.
So Dean mentioned the movie before. I'm going to quickly explain what a margin call is. So when, and for anyone listening that's a professional, please give me some latitude. When you are short on a position, the bank might ask you for coverage. So if you are short on a position and instead of the price going down, price goes up, the bank will ask you to put back capital so you're capable of paying for the share once you have to pay for it.
Your house and Porsche, etc.
Okay. So that's what's called a margin call. So they basically call you up and say, look, dude, your position is now out 100 grand, 100 million. You have to cover up. And then you have to put this money in escrow.
Okay. So in a place, it's
in a place that's kind of like safeguarded. So it's real money that's put away. You're still not purchasing the stock because you're still hoping that it's going to go down. But the bank doesn't want the bank doesn't want to sit on that risk. So they basically go like,
you have to cover it.
Dude, just cover that, would ya? Okay, so this is basically what's happening with these hedge funds. They now have to put in money because they get margin calls. And Citadel now has to put away 2.75 billion because they're basically fucked. So now Melvin or Gabriel and his boys, and they start calling around and go like, "Hey, dudes, can you help us out?" So they call all their friends.
Remember that time I gave you up?
Yeah, well, he used to work for Mental Case the Devil personally, Kenneth Griffin from Citadel LLC, and goes like, "Hey, dude, do you have some money?" And he goes like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take half of that."
What do you mean?
So he pays $1.5 billion, but says like, "Can I have a bit of your company as well, please?"
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Favor for favor.
Now get this. Everyone that trades on Reddit, or a lot of people that trade through that group, they trade over a platform called Robinhood.
Oh.
Robinhood does not have direct market access. They are just, if we go to software terms, they are the top layer of the stack. Mm-hmm. And below, they still need a bank that processes the transactions.
Oh, really?
Who do you think they trade with?
I didn't know that.
Citadel LLC, motherfuckers.
No fucking
yes.
way.
Now, Citadel LLC is not only a bank, but also a fucking hedge fund.
Yeah.
So they see these short positions being uncovered all year long. They just see it coming.
Yeah.
Kenneth Griffin sees it coming because his buddy is losing out on 2.75 billion.
He fucking bets against it.
So this is what happens. So the play-by-play gets now shorter. So it's now Wednesday, 27th of January, 2021. Wall Street Bets in this time went from 2 million participants to 4 million. Captains of the financial industry are confused and oh so fearful because now they appear on CNBC and CNN and every fucking microphone that's on Wall Street and go like, "Oh yeah, we have to really look into this. There's fraudulent behavior of investors.
We didn't predict any of this coming. It could be fake news from Reddit.
We might see poor people actually getting money. That needs to be stopped.
It's completely against our code of ethics to make sure that the lower class in society actually benefit from any of our trading or have a comfortable life. We try to keep everyone in poverty at all time.
It's a little bit like you have all these buddies sitting in a sandcastle and one of the guys burns his fingers and everyone is outraged about it. Like it's just like, oh no, we can't have that.
So Citadel are betting that Melvin is going to fail.
Wait. We get to the Citadel thing, but let's first just go with the weird behavior that Wall Street animals, the bullies of the fucking capitalism, show once they start losing money. Okay. Because now everyone goes in front of the camera. Like everyone that wants to listen goes like, "Oh no, this is fraudulent behavior."
Yeah.
But they have been fucking around for years, for decades. But now suddenly they lose money, and this is not how things should go. We get into the Citadel trade because the jury, yeah, it's fish. The story is not quite finished on that front yet. But Wall Street Journal on Wednesday goes out and basically says everyone on Reddit is an alt-right guy.
Okay.
They have to pull back that article because it becomes unsubstantiated after a while, and they
quite a big claim.
They literally just wanted to go out there and put the stench of Nazi to Reddit.
Yeah. But this is the same shit they did with Occupy Wall Street.
100%.
But they use identity politics. Yeah. They got a bunch of I forgot what it was, but they got some people to protest that. Anyway.
Okay, so it's Wednesday the 27th. We're still on Wednesday. GameStop now trades at US dollar $340.
Fuck.
I'm gleefully happy on this one.
If you put $100 in, that's 100,000.
Wait.
Yours, no?
If you got out the $3, yeah.
If you bought at $3, you're a fucking king.
Yeah.
But at the time,
you got to be aware that most of that money would belong to Swiss quote Dean. So
yeah, true. Yeah. I'm glad it didn't fucking.
But you also have to remember that Citadel and Citron have to pay the difference of $3 and $340. So they have to pay $337 as a margin call in order to cover their fucking short positions, which they actually claim at that point that they are no longer holding. Claim.
Got rid of it?
Claim. Thursday, 28th of January, 2021. Before the bell, GameStop hits a record high of US dollar 500.
No fucking way.
Mm-hmm. Robinhood suspends all transactions in so-called GME.
They're fucked.
Oh, wait. Purchases, not sales.
Well, you can no longer buy unless you have a short position. So you can cover your
They're
short.
manipulating that shit.
Yes, you can no longer cover your short. You can cover your short, but you can no longer
fuck?
purchase. So,
That's
interestingly,
market manipulation, no?
a man by the name of Justin Kahn tweets on the 28th of January at 7:08 p.m. Swiss time. Just got a tip that Citadel reloaded their shorts before they told Robinhood to stop trading GME. If this is true, Ken Griffin and Robinhood founders should be in jail. This is class warfare.
Yeah.
Reloaded
It really
their
fucking
shorts
is.
meant they've gone all in.
They've gone all short again.
So instead of
planning
getting
on-
the fuck out, they're like, let's double down
this.
on our
Because they
Yeah.
know what they're going to do
Yeah.
next.
yeah.
Yeah, but it hasn't worked.
Well,
Not yet.
let's check the price.
Let's start shorting.
At the time of recording,
GameStop.
ladies and gentlemen, at the time of recording, we are Friday, 29th of January at 1832 Swiss time. GME is trading at $346.
Wow.
It's not working because fucking everyone, Elon Musk is like, I'm putting money in on this.
But is it like from $500?
It came down. Well, okay. So let me explain what I just said before. The $500, that was before they started trading.
All right. Okay.
So
okay,
in
okay,
the
okay.
night when the stock market stops trading, there is
Yeah, they line it up. Yeah.
pre-opening prices, and they are not very indicative of what is going to happen.
Yeah.
But once the bell goes, then the trade normalizes.
I've seen all the movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So this story is not finished. We are far from finished on this one, and we are also not quite sure if Citadel actually did something criminal. But Robinhood is facing a class action lawsuit in the Southern District of New York as of yesterday night.
Yeah, okay, but
Wow.
but I mean, if you look at, what's a class action lawsuit going to cost them
Define class action lawsuit.
versus like being out billions? Like you may pay a 50 million fine and a bit of
Slap on the wrist.
The lawsuit won't actually do anything. But what will happen though? So the Reddit guys currently have this quote going around: "Hold your positions, don't sell."
Yeah.
Which basically means that there is no proper market, which means that the price is not going to change.
Yeah, that's
which
it.
means these guys that went short are still out of pocket.
And
That's the whole point.
to me, what's interesting about the kind of the memes, if you check on Wall Street Bets, is that there are people saying like in 2008, my dad's business got fucked and I'm holding these shares forever. Like,
Yeah.
I'm never
Yeah.
going to give these shares up. And apparently there's like basically no available shares left to trade, which means if you're shorted, you can't even buy anything. You have to offer, the price is only going to go up when they actually want to.
There's a great term for this that goes back to the dildo products that we were selling before. It's called a squeeze. So what happens is that they are literally drying up liquidity of the market. And this is what Citadel and also the stock market hide behind. They basically go like, there's no liquidity in the stock anymore. Hence, we have to stop the trading activities.
Yeah.
So if no one sells and no one buys, there is no market. So we can't actually create a platform where you can trade that particular stock.
Does
Interesting.
does that excuse them their short positions?
Not at all, because the guys that run short positions, at one point I read, I'm not 100% sure if this is true, that there was 150% more capital invested in short positions that there was available.
Yeah. I saw that like 140% or something.
Yeah.
Like they'd resold these shares so many times.
So that there's not enough shares to actually cover the shorts. Now, what I wonder is, are the GameStop executives paid on performance on their stock?
If you're a GameStop exec, how do you not sell your shares?
I mean, come on.
You're like, And you just do that, and then go meet Jeff Bezos and say, well, "Hey, buddy, we're now the same. We're worth the same amount."
You can be the biggest fucking boomer in that company and go like, "Well, I got fucking lucky."
What the hell's Reddit?
Yeah, exactly.
Where the hell are the anime dolls coming in?
How does the internet work? It's
Love
just
those
like,
things.
But the thing is, so if this goes the way that Reddit wants it to go, basically, Melvin's going down. They
most likely.
Citadel.
Not going down. They're sitting on way too much cash. So Citadel might go down for something far more nefarious. So if it's true,
Pedophilia.
if it's true that the trading desk was talking to the Citadel hedge fund group that went short on the position. So if that was based on internal information, that basically means that they weren't Chinese walled enough. So within these companies, there are so-called Chinese walls.
Yeah.
So people are not allowed to talk to each other, which is absolute bullshit, by the way.
Racist.
Although I've got to say, so I worked for a company that was working for one of the largest banks in the US, let's say High Street Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Think a wagon, but I'm not going to mention them.
Yeah, they were really into cowboys at the one. They might have been involved with the Pony Express at one point.
Exactly, and they bought all these companies in 2008 because basically they were the only bank that had money. So the US government said, please buy all these things for nothing, and they all got merged. They're actually very strict on like who can see what. So you'll have like a database where
they were sued so many times for lying.
Yeah, I don't believe
and
okay.
the same company is actually taken for credit card fraud because they opened credit cards for people that didn't know. Anyway, so
okay, whatever.
You actually trusted a bank for a second there?
Yeah,
you fucking
I had a moment of sorry.
No, they're all massive fuckheads. Like the one thing
I just want to believe.
So
people are good inside.
At the beginning of my rant about hedge funds, I mentioned that Bill Clinton deregulated the financial industry. There was a thing in place called the Glass-Steagall Act. It basically made sure that investment banking and corporate banking cannot happen under the same roof. Bill Clinton went in and said, fuck that noise, and put them all back together. So the best Chinese wall is don't be in the same fucking house. Yeah. And this is basically what the Glass-Steagall rule ascertained. So these investment banks, they did not have the corporate banking information and vice versa. So they just had to operate in their own little vacuums. But now that everything is under the same roof, oh, come on.
So
come on.
In other words, it's separating like all that insider info about what companies are doing from the people investing in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we have to make sure that that comes back.
But to me, the question is, how bad could this thing get? Because like what I've seen with financial markets in 2008, is that when you really look into it, everything is linked. And when shit goes down in one place, you very quickly go, oh, fuck that. Oh, shit. And then suddenly, or the other one was like the Lloyd's of London insurance brokers.
Amazing.
Reinsurance, where you found out that one small insurance policy had been reinsured again and again and again for bigger and bigger sums. So when shit went down, and then you went and unwound that whole thing, it was a massive disaster.
Yeah.
Are we likely to see this with?
It's difficult to say. I'm gonna speak like a proper finance dude now. It's very difficult to foresee the future. No, but let's get real.
Are we going global meltdown?
The Swiss market opened far in the red this morning.
Oh shit!
So
now I'm gonna hit that button.
It's fucking funny to watch because the biggest word that's being used is sentiment. This is something like, we lost trust in the market. And this is what Reddit does. It disrupts the market. Just to use another fucking tag here. People don't trust the process anymore and don't trust the market anymore. And this is fucking great. So it is a proper stampede. It's a stampede that these fucking hedge fund cunts cannot stop. And it's going to be great to see what happens next. I actually hope that Griffin gets one in the chin.
Yeah, where the hell is Rage Against the Machine when you need him?
I mean, the thing is, like, I was ranting on a previous podcast episode. Which one was it?
You ranting? No.
With Caro. It was about the demonstrations. So, property damage. Jason wrote in, and to me, this is how you do revolution. You don't smash up a McDonald's. You figure out how the system works, and basically, I mean, one version of this is that. A bunch of nerds. I'm almost saying a bunch of nerds lost their job and were at home, and these are basically like all nerds. We're all a bit autistic, and they start looking at like some financial trading figures, and then one of them went, "Oh, fuck, that's how it works." And then basically this shit went. So basically the real problem is that the nerds weren't given enough to do. And so they start fucking around on Reddit and fucking bring the whole thing down, which is hilarious.
It's interesting to see what's going to happen because the SEC, the regulator in the American stock market, is very, very, very closely linked to the industry itself.
Okay.
So buddy helps buddy out. So if you work at Goldman Sachs for 10 years, you go to work for the SEC for another 10, and then you go back to Goldman Sachs to actually make money. So
they're going to shut it down somehow.
They're going to shut it down because buddies protect each other. It's a boys club. They're all fucking Harvard cunts. It's the same group of people that will protect their fortune as much as they can.
To me, the question is, can that be done with millions of investors? So,
that's the biggest fear right now because this exposure has never happened before. So it's the first time that millions of investors just go at the same time, no, fuck you. Sit on it and turn.
Yeah.
Did you just accuse us of being a giant circle jerk? How dare you?
All right. So this was our little XYZ special. I hope my rant was bearable.
It's a Christmas special.
Yeah, I think we learned something. I don't know quite what. Maybe the always buy your dildos from the three of us. That's the conclusion of this episode.
Yeah, I think the only thing I've learned is keep your money in a shoebox under your bed. Keep it away from the rats.
But seriously, I mean, Dean, you should be excited about this. This is real fucking revolution.
It really is. It really is.
This is like a bunch of dudes figured out.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of what is happening.
I think the money
right
always wins, though. The big investment.
We'll see. Because,
yeah.
I mean, the only way they can do it is by breaking the rules of the game. And if you break the rules of the game, you shake the trust.
I don't think it's breaking the rules. I think it's just changing the rules. There you go.
Well, that's
and
how
who has all the money.
It depends how you package.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We should keep up on top of it.
Yeah.
So
Reddit's gonna lose.
I wanted to
I'm gonna short Reddit on this.
I wanted to thank you both for indulging me in this little thing.
No problem, man.
I was writing myself into a frenzy this morning.
You like doing that?
Frenzied writing.
I woke up at 5 and was like, "Fuck this!" And it was just like
the Swiss market's in the red. Now I'm involved.
my keyboard was fuming, literally. It was a little bit like a cartoon. So I love doing these nerdy things. So thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
With pleasure.
Bye.